Hi everyone, welcome to DSDV class 17C663. We will be continuing our module 1, Introduction and Design Methodology. We are in the series of lecture 1 of the module 1. There are 3 parts in a module 1. Part 1 is about Introduction and Design Methodology, and part 2 is about combinational basics, and part 3 is about sequential basics. Okay, right now we're in a series of part 1, Introduction and Design Methodology. In the previous lectures we have covered till part D. Okay, part A gave the introduction part and about the uh, um, digital systems and embedded systems introduction, and in a part B lecture we saw about we started with the real world circuits. In that we saw about IC histories and logic levels, and in part C we continued our real world circuits with the static load levels, means with the presence of the output, presence of the current on the output wire. Okay, what's its importance and how to find the fan out. Okay, in that lecture we saw the word fan out and how to find what is the meaning of fan out and how to find out the fan out using static load problems. Okay, and in the lecture D we saw capacity loading and propagation delay, also wire delay. The capacity load is nothing but the load present at the output wire, the load capacitance present on the output wire, that is capacitance, and how that capacitance will determine the fan out. The word fan out means the number of the output driving a number of input circuits. Okay, and in the continuation of the module 1 lecture 1, okay, we will be continuing our real world circuits with the rest of the subtopics. The topics remaining are sequential timing, power, and area and packaging. Okay, in this lecture we will be covering about sequential timing. Okay, sequential timing means with respect to the flip-flops. Okay, I welcome you all to the lecture 1E, sequential timing. Okay, this is a flip-flop. Okay, you all know the flip-flop stores a bit value, means one bit value in it. A flip-flop stores a 1 bit value. A flip-flop can be used to store a many bit value. Okay, 4 bit flip-flop stores 4 bit value. N bit flip-flop stores n bit value. The flip-flops can be used to shift the data from one location to other location, and also the flip-flop, by using the flip-flops and with some logic we can able to construct a counters also, right? We can use this flip-flop for shifting the data and also as a counter. That is the application part. But what we are doing in this lecture, what you are trying to know in this lecture, this lecture is about, as a design engineer we should be aware of few technical terms, few timing terms, that those are setup time, hold time, and clock time, and clock to queue delay. Okay, many other timing uh, technical terms to be known, but these are the few essential things. Okay, as a beginner designer, okay, we should be aware of these words. Okay, we shall see what is setup time, what is hold time, what is the importance of that. Okay, we all know that a flip flop, a synchronous flip flop will be having a input and output, and also it will be having a clock. A flip flop will be having input, output, and clock. And we are also very much aware that the output will be obtained when there is a clock edge. The clock edge can be positive edge or negative edge. Okay, the flip flop will give the output only when there is a presence of the clock edge. When clock edge occurs, even though there is a presence of input, okay, we'll be getting output only at the clock edge. This is the known fact. Okay, but what is the thing to be known? What is the special in this? What is the special thing to be known? We all know that we will be describing the design, means what we are doing, it will be an ideal way. Ideal design means it's not a real design, it is not implemented on any board, it is not made into a product. Yeah, but in ideal case we will be getting a ideal waveforms, means without any delay. But in real world circuits, when we implement this flip flop, when we use this flip flop, okay, there will be a delay in getting the output. Okay, as soon as we press the button of any device, we will not get the output at instant. There will be some few nanosecond delay. Okay, there will be some delay after only the will get output. For example, your mobile phone, only when we press the power button, it will take few time to turn on the screen, right? Similarly, there will be in real world circuit, there will be some delay, some amount of delay to get the output. That is the concept we are going to see in this lecture. Okay, what I'm telling is, what I'm telling is if this is a clock signal, okay, and we'll be getting the output at the edge of this clock signal only. We'll be getting the output at the edge of this clock signal only. But in real world, there we will be not getting the ideal waves. There will be some delay. There will be some delay from rise time to fall time. Okay, rise time to fall time, and 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 there will be time taken by the output, and the output also takes some time to capture the input, to capture the input. Okay, output will not, output pin will not give the value at instant when the edge occurs. Okay, it will not give the output at the edges. It will take some time delay after the edge. It will take some time, and it will give the output, and it will give the output after the clock edge. Okay, this is a time gap. This is called delay. Okay, what delay is that? Some time unit. We are given a time unit. Okay, this is the concept we are going to learn is in this lecture. Okay, we all know that flip-flop stores value. It may be a logic 0 or logic 1. Okay, we have been known that we will be getting the instant output, means a straight output. No, we will not getting a straight straight waveform. We will be getting some delayed waveform. Okay, we will see how the circuit flip-flops, how the flip-flop will give the output in a real scenario. Okay, we will be getting introduced to the few terms: setup time, hold time, and clock to Q delay. Okay, clock to Q delay is nothing but that time traveling from clock pin to output pin. Okay, clock pin to output pin. Okay, the setup time is nothing but before telling the briefing the definition of the setup time, we will understand what is setup time means, what is hold time means, and what is clock to Q delay. Okay, means in real world, I said the output will take some amount of time to respond to the input. But when the flip-flop involved, when the sequential circuit is there, okay, it depends on the clock signal. Okay, even though there is an input signal, okay, the output will depend on the clock. Okay, then before the clock signal comes, before the clock edge comes, there should be presence of the input, right? Yes, there should be presence of the input before the clock edge. Then only we can acknowledge the data is present. Okay, then when the clock edge occurs, okay, the output will not capture instantly. It will take some time. Okay, till that time, okay, the same data which is present before the clock edge should be maintained after the clock edge also for some amount of time. Okay, the data should be present before the clock edge for some amount of time, and the same data should be present after the clock edge for some amount of time, so that the output can capture the input. Okay, I repeat again, before the clock edge, the data should be present. Okay, it may be logic 0 or logic 1. It should be present before the clock edge signal comes. Okay, and the same data should continue after the clock edge also, so that output can capture the same input value. Okay, the time unit where the data signal is present before the clock edge is called as the setup time. Okay, and the time duration where the same data input present after the clock edge till the output captures the input is called as the hold time. Okay, this is the general meaning. We will see in the pictorial way also. Okay, the setup time is nothing but the data input should be the time interval. Okay, the data input requires a time interval before the clock edge. Okay, that is called setup time. The hold time means the data value, whatever the data value which is present before the clock edge. Okay, that data should not change. It should be same after the clock edge for some amount of time interval. That time interval is called hold time. And next, clock to output delay is nothing but the time taken by the output, okay, after the clock edge to capture the input. The time taken by the output after the clock edge, okay, to capture, to record, to copy the input value. That is called clock to output delay. Means the time taken by the output to respond to the clock signal. That is called clock to output delay. The timing characteristic is shown in figure 1.18. The figure is depicting D input, clock input, and Q output. And don't worry, the figure is so small. We will see the enlarged view in the next slide. You can just see there are few few new terms called setup time, hold time, clock to queue delay. Okay, we'll try to understand. We till now we are listening that we'll see the visualization way. Okay, this is the enlarged picture of the figure 1.18. Okay, there are TSU, TH, and TO. Don't worry, we will see what those terms are. Okay, yeah, we will try to construct the figure. We will try to understand in a pictorial way what is the meaning of setup time, what is the meaning of hold time, what is the meaning of clock to output delay. Okay, first we should have input signal. Okay, we will draw the time scale. We will draw the waveform for the input. Input is data input. Data input logic 0, logic 1, logic 1 staying for some amount of time, again going to logic 0, switching to logic 0, switching off logic 1, and this is the data input signal. Okay, the data input signal is for some amount of time it is 0, and after that it is 1 for few amount of time. You can see that the line, the switching of logic 0 to logic 1 is not straight, it is somewhat slant. This slant is because in real world circuits there will be some amount of lagging, means some amount of delay to settle down, to switch from logic 0 to logic 1 and vice versa. Okay, that is why the slant line is there. Okay, this time this duration we saw as rise time, and this we saw as fall time in the previous class. Okay, that is rise time and fall time. Why? So the switching from logic 0 to logic 1 time interval is called rise time. The switching from logic 1 to logic 0 time taken is called as fall time. Okay, that is a different concept. Here we are learning setup time and hold time. Okay, we shall see what is setup time and hold time. The setup time and hold time and rise time and fall time, don't get confused. Okay, rise time and fall time is with respect to the particular waveform, switching of logic levels, and setup time and hold time is with respect to clock. Okay, please remember, this is one of the interview question. Setup time and hold time is with respect to clock signal. Okay, this is the data signal. Next, in flip-flop, what input signal is left? Clock signal. We will construct the clock signal. What is a clock signal? It's a train of pulses, a sequence of zeros, logic 0 and logic 1 with specified clock period. Okay, this is a clock signal. We'll try to construct a series of logic 0 and logic 1, logic 0 and logic 1, series of logic 0, logic 1, a train of pulses. It's a clock signal we are constructing. This is a clock signal. Okay, you can see the edges of the clock. Okay, this is the edge of the data signal. Okay, the edge where the data is switched from logic 0 to logic 1 and settled down for logic 1. This is the edge of the logic 1 settling time. Okay, similarly for a clock also, the clock edge, we see this is a clock edge, this is the clock edge and settle down. We will take this edge as the clock edge. Okay, similarly we will mark the clock edges. This is the clock edge for first pulse, clock edge for second pulse, clock edge for third pulse. Now we have got the clock pulses. We know that after the clock edge we'll be getting the output. Correct? Yes. So when the clock edge comes, there should be presence of data signal. Here the clock signal is there. The clock signal edge has occurred here, and when this come, the output will capture the input value. So means there should be presence of output, right? There should be presence of output before the clock edge. So there is a presence of clock edge before the there is a presence of the data input before the clock edge. Okay, the data input should not be at the exactly same time of the clock edge, because we may not able to capture the same data, we may not able to validate the data. So that is only there's a the old design team, the whole testing team and manufacturing, whatever the team are there, they require some justification. Okay, and the circuits also require some justification. So we cannot give 100% we will be getting at this particular time the output will capture exactly. We cannot give precise time, so we need to have some amount of time. Okay, in that amount of time, anytime the output can capture, anytime the clock edge can. We are saying that clock edge occurred this time, this t time unit. It may not be proper, it may not be 100% correct, it may not be precise. When we manufacture, when we do IC manufacturing, there may be possibility of some changes, or some due to some after the manufacture also 100% manufacture, due to some environment the product is developed, due to some other condition the circuit may not behave properly. Okay, so the clock edge may not occur at the same time. The clock edge may not occur at the same time. It may occur somewhat before or somewhat after. So that is the reason why we require data signal to be present before the clock edge. Okay, and that data signal should be same after the clock edge, so the output can capture. Why? Because the output captures data after the clock edge. The concept is simple. The in the flip flop, the output captures the data only when clock edge occurs. In real circuits, in real scenario, when the product is developed, there will be some delay from for output to respond to the input. Okay, and we are not sure that exact precise time we can expect the clock edge. Okay, so for plus or minus values, we require data signals. Okay, for that, before the clock edge, for few amount of time, the data signal should be present, and that same data should be present after the clock edge also. Why I'm repeating again and again means so that this concepts kept we will go embed in your in your mind. Okay, so this is not an easy concept and one time concept to listen and understand. Okay, it needs to be memory, it needs to be in memory for long time. Okay, you don't want to come and again repeatedly watch this video, or repeatedly you go and search Google or any sources to understand setup time and hold time. Please understand now only, so that I'm repeating. So okay, it is somewhat confusing, confusing, and somewhat if you forget, it's somewhat hard to understand. So I'm repeating the words, okay, again and again, and the definitions again and again. Okay, please bear with me. Okay, here we will continue. Okay, we have constructed a data input signal, we have constructed clock signal. So next output signal. Okay, output signal. Okay, before the clock edge, we are not precise about the output. The output can be any value, it can be 0 or it can be 1, right? The output is not, the output will be in the some initial state. That initial state depends. Okay, and after the clock edge, the output will start to capture the input value. Okay, for example, in D flip flop, the output will be same as D input, right? Yes. Then after the clock edge, the output requires some amount of time to capture the data. What is the data here? It's 1. Before the clock edge also, the data is 1. After the clock edge also, data 1. Before the clock edge, you can see that interval, these two lines, this line and this line, the data signal is 1 before the clock edge. And after the clock edge also, the data should be same for some amount of time. Means it is 1, it should be 1 here also. Now see, yes, for this amount of time, we'll specify some amount of time. This amount of time, okay, the data should be same before the clock edge, and this is the clock edge. Before, this is the clock edge line, this is the clock edge line. Before the clock edge line, the data should be present for some amount of time, and after the clock edge time, the data should be present for some amount of time. During this time, the output will, during this time, the output will capture. Okay, from this time onwards, the output will capture the data, the same data. You can see D is 1, Q is also 1. Okay, D is 1, Q is also 1. You can see the Q output is capturing the data input signal after the clock edge. With this time interval, the output is getting the data, and this data logic 1 will be maintained till the next clock edge, till the next clock edge. Okay, till the next clock edge, the output will maintain the same state. And when at the next clock edge, whatever the data present at the D signal, that will be captured in the output. Okay, we'll see that also, what output we'll be getting. For now, understand, to capture the data, okay, in flip flop, the output capture data at the clock edge, but in real circuits there will be delay. Okay, so in considering that delay in mind, so the data input should be present before the clock edge also. This is clock edge, the data input should be present for some amount of time before the clock edge. The time interval between this data available and this clock edge is called as setup time, and the time interval after at the clock edge and after the clock edge. Okay, the time interval at the clock edge and after the clock edge is called as hold time. Okay, the first line and the second line, the interval is called as setup time, and the second line and the third line interval is called as the hold time. Okay, please, we will try to understand in the next clock, in the next cycle also. We'll have another D input value. This time we'll maintain the 0 state. Okay, okay, we'll maintain the 0 state. Let the data input, we'll construct the data input. Okay, we'll give other input, let the data be 0, and it will maintain for 0 for, it will maintain at the next clock edge. You can see the data which occurred here, 0, logic 0, and the next clock edge the data is maintaining for 0. Before the clock edge also the data is 0, and after the clock edge also the data is 0. So there is a clock edge, and after the clock edge the Q output captures what is the value 0. It is going to 0. It's going to 0. It is capturing 0 value. You can see it is captured 0 value till the next clock edge. Okay, you can see before the clock edge also, this is the clock edge, second line. This is the second line is the clock edge. Before the clock edge also data was 0, and after the clock edge also data is 0. It means the data is valid. Okay, the output can capture the same data. Okay, if it has changed, means we'll be getting the wrong output. If data is went to 1 after the clock edge, we'll get the wrong output. For this reason only, to avoid the wrong data, okay, we ask the design engineers to be aware of this and specify this setup time and hold time in their scripts, in their timing constraint file. Okay, so the data will be available before the clock edge also and after the clock edge. The same data will be available before the clock edge and after the clock edge. Okay, so the output can capture easily the same input. Okay, the time interval where the data input is available before the clock edge is called setup time, and the time duration, the where the data where the same data is available after the clock time is called as after the clock it is called as hold time. Okay, hope this has this repeated words and definitions has cleared the setup time and hold time concept. Okay, the further we'll construct the data input. Okay, now it's going to logic I. Okay, and in the third clock cycle you can see, third clock edge, you can see the data is logic 1. Okay, before the clock edge the data is logic 1, and after the clock edge also you can see the line is coming after the clock edge also the data is 1. Now the output will goes to 1, right? Okay, this time interval, this duration, you can see in the orange color the duration. Okay, the first line, this is the first line, and the second line, the duration is called setup time. The T stands for time, SU stands for setup. This is called setup time. And in the purple line you can see the duration, purple line duration, between second line third line, purple line duration is called hold time. Setup time is the data required to set up amount, to set the data, means setup time means the data present before clock edge, that is called setup time. Hold time means when the data held for some amount of time. In that amount of time output can capture the output. That is why it's called as hold time. The same data is held for some amount of time, so the output can capture the data. Okay, this is the meaning of setup time and hold time, and pardon me for repeated explanations. Please bear with. Okay, this is about sequential timing, few terminologies. Please understand the setup time, hold time, and the next term is clock to Q delay. The clock to Q delay is nothing but the, see, it's the clock edge, here's the output. We are in ideal way at this edge we should be get the output, but the output is not getting at this edge, but it's getting after some amount of delay. This duration, this clock edge, and this, you can see this clock edge, and this is called hold. This is called clock to Q delay. Okay, we will see the previous figure. We'll go to the previous slide. You can see this is the clock edge, and this is the clock edge, the 50%, and the output is going on. It's called a clock to Q delay. The clock to Q delay is nothing but the amount of time taken by the output to respond to the capture input after the clock edge occurs. Please bear the terminologies: clock to Q delay, setup time, hold time, and setup time, hold time, clock to Q delay. And don't get confused with the rise time and fall time with setup time and hold time. Okay, this is with synchronous terminologies. And asynchronous, there are other terminologies similar to setup time and hold time that is not in the syllabus. Okay, we are going to stick with only the synchronous based timing terminologies. Okay. In the figure we have seen the rising edge and falling edges. They are sloped. They are not. They are slant. They are sloped. They are not straight line. They are not vertical. They are not vertical. They are sloped because it's not instantaneous. There will be some delay. This is what we saw in the previous figure. We also drawn both logic 0 and logic 1 values for the data input and data output, suggesting that it's not the specific values that are relevant, but the times at which value changes shown by the coincident rising and falling edges. The diagram illustrates The constant that changes on the data input must not occur within a time window around the clock signal resides, and that the data output cannot be assumed correct until after some delay after the clock edge. Okay, and that is about rise time and fall time. That is about a single flip flop. But in real circuits, there will be interconnection of the circuits. There will be interconnection of the circuits. The entire design is not based on single flip flop. It is a interconnection of different circuits. There will be interconnection of flip flop to flip flop. There is interconnection of flip flop to other circuits, other logic gates also, combination logic gates. Okay. In most sequential digital circuits, the output of flip flop is either directly connected to the input of the another flip flop. Okay, you can see the output of the flip flop 1 is directly connected to the flip flop 2 input. The output of flip flop 1 is connected as input to the flip flop 2 directly, or the output of the flip flop 1 is connected to the flip flop 2 through some combination logic. Okay, you can see the output of first flip flop is connected to some combination logic, and the output of the combination logic is connected as input to the flip flop 2. The meaning is, okay, you cannot expect the direct flow of signal. There will be some delay occurs with in the middle combination logic. Here the output of flip flop is directly connected to the input of the flip flop 2, but here the output of the flip flop 1 is connected to the some combination logic, and the combination logic it output as is connected as input to the next flip flop. Okay, there will be some amount of delay. Okay, all this delay, why I am telling delay means all this considers for the performance of the device. The performance of the device is based on the delay. Okay, in the previous class we saw about the propagation delay also. Okay, in order for the circuit to operate correctly, a data output resulting from one clock edge must arrive at the second flip flop ahead of a setup interval time before the next clock edge. Why we took those examples? Because here from flip flop to flip flop also the setup time and hold time comes into picture. So we need to aware about the setup time and hold time properly, so that flip flop to flip flop, flip flop to flip flop to flip flop connection, we can describe this constraint. This gives rise to a constraint that we can interpret in two ways. One view is that the delays in the circuit between flip flops, okay, please listen, delays in the circuit between flip flops are fixed. Okay, and we'll place an upper bound on the clock cycle time and hence on the overall speed at which the circuit operates. This means we will fix the delay between the flip flop to flip flop. Okay, and we'll maintain the performance of the circuit. And the second view is we'll fix the clock cycle time. The clock cycle time is fixed, and we'll place an upper bound on the permissible delays in the circuit between flip flops. It means that two constraints we can do. One, fix the delay between the flip flop and fix the delay and fix the clock cycle time. Okay, according to this view, we must ensure that the whatever the design okay, we describe, okay, that circuit should be able to meet the our required constraints. Constraints may be timing or any voltage. We saw voltage constraint, and now in sequential timing constraint means if we want the output to be within a 5 seconds, the device should be able to produce the output at 5 seconds. If we expect the output to produce at within a 10 seconds, it should be able to produce the output within a 10 seconds. I mean, these are constraints. Okay, and that is about the sequential timing concept. In sequential timing concept, we learnt about flip flop. Okay, we learnt about flip flop synchronous flip flop, few timing constraints like setup time, hold time, clock to Q delay. Setup time is setup time and hold time. I repeat again, setup time and hold time are related to with respect to the clock signals. Okay, okay, synchronous circuits will be having a setup time and hold time. Okay, setup time means the data input should be present before the clock edge. The data input should be present for a few amount of time. That time interval is called as setup time. And the setup time is the data input should be present before the clock edge for few amount of time. That is called setup time. And hold time means the the same data input in the setup time should be the same data input should be present after the clock edge. Okay, that same data input should be maintained after the clock edge for some amount of time. That amount of time is called hold time. And clock to Q delay is nothing but the time taken by the output to the time taken by the output after the clock edge to capture the input. Clock to Q delay means the time taken by the output after the clock edge occurs to capture the input. That is called clock to Q delay. Okay, we saw the pictorial view also, we saw the explanation view also. Okay, and don't get confused with the rise time and fall time. Rise time and fall time is with respect is nothing but rise time is rising from logic 0 to logic 1 rising time. Fall time is logic 1 to logic 0 switching time. Okay, rise means logic 1 logic 0 to logic 1, fall means logic 1 to logic 0. Okay, the time taken by switching from logic 0 to logic 1 is called rise time. The time taken by switching from logic 1 to logic 0 is called fall time. Okay, don't get confused between setup time, hold time, rise time, and fall time. Okay, in the next class we shall see the power importance of power consumption. Thank you all.